Working with creators can either be something you love doing or it can be something you hate doing. But hopefully by the end of this video, it's something you love doing, because I'm going to break down influencer marketing. Like, you can think about what I'm saying, you can feel how to apply it as well. And the best part is, it's something you can do as early as tomorrow, because it's not as hard as it has to be, especially if you're a small business, local business, or a startup. So let's get right into it. First, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Bree Flemings. I'm the founder of Jem Social. I founded the company 3 years ago. We are a platform that has 30 million influencers and creators on there, spanning from UGC, spokespersons, influencers, you name it. However, we're also a platform that helps creators get booked more, because we have opportunities on there for campaigns, and there's over 30,000 brand contacts on the platform alone. And we have a feature that allows you to pitch faster and better by connecting your Gmail. Now let's get right into it. Why do people hate influencer marketing? It's likely because of the same reason they might hate other things about marketing. They don't have a strategy. So you have no direction. And I understand this because I'm a person who lacked this too for my own business. Though it wasn't in the influencer marketing space, it was in other areas of my business that I just didn't have that much knowledge about. But by the end of this video, you'll recognize that influencer marketing isn't as hard as you think it is, because it all starts with you or your brand. If you want a relationship with influencers, you need to start building community around them. You might be a platform that sells clothing, right? And you might want affiliates. Well, in order to get people to sell your brand, you need to have a good relationship with them. Maybe you're a hospitality company and you want to work with creators on a monthly basis to come in for your food tastings, right? Wine tastings, services, experiences. You have to create a relationship with them and sell them experience. If you stop selling them on the brand and you actually sell the experience, now you are able to build a solid relationship with them. So again, be kind and sell people experiences. Don't always sell people transactions. I'm not saying to not offer paid experiences either though. So don't take this as, oh, this is a good way to just give them experience and not pay them. No. I'm not saying that. Every partnership is different based off of not just the relationship you have with the creator, but also the deliverables you are requiring. You sold an experience and they gave you a barter for it. So it does all depend. Which brings me to my next point. You should work with small creators. Think of working with small creators as your own internal PR. Working with creators doesn't just get you content. It builds your reputation. It builds your review system. It builds, honestly, your discovery. So keep that in mind. Right now, if I had a launch coming up for my store, I would be looking for all of the people I want to sell to anyways. Maybe it's a boutique for female bosses, custom tailored suits. I'm only going to be inviting female bosses who have great community in Houston. I'm going to invite 50 of them. I'm going to show them an actual experience. And in exchange, I would ask for a piece of content, right, on all of those platforms. But maybe because my service would cost maybe $1,000 per person. So now let's see what we can work with if it's a good fit. Alignment is everything. If it's not in alignment, neither myself as a brand or the creator may want to work together, right? And that's okay. If I'm trying to book 50 creators, to be honest, I'm looking for at least 500 on Jem Social, because typically for a gifted experience, about 10 to 15% have booked on Jem Social. But if it's a paid experience, and you're pitching small creators, well, you might have a 50% to 60% closing rate, which brings me down to perks. Make sure these perks are outstanding. I once had got 50 creators to a boutique opening, and I made sure that they knew that they were going to get champagne. Budget actually allowed all of them to meet up at a spot to get picked up in a limo, dropped off at their private service, which was at the booking, at the boutique. Then there was cocktails there as well, because they had got a sponsorship. Then they also had they had food tastings there, like very cute stuff. But the point was, the experience was so nice that they almost forgot. They literally were just in a boutique. But it wasn't just any boutique. This was a boutique that sold experiences, right? And that's what's standing out so much. That is why Airbnb literally just invested so much money into adding experiences to Airbnb, because it's not just about booking a place to stay anymore. Just like on Jem Social, it's not just about booking a creator. You are booking your own PR, SEO, content, ads, all at once, working with creators, which is why you need it, if nothing else. Treat them with more respect than most relationships that you have, because they're doing so many different services for you while also building your media. Keep that in mind. And on the other side, creators getting booked for experiences, that means a lot to them, because it doesn't just feel transactional anymore. It actually feels like they're getting a spark of joy. Joy is kind of hard to come by, naturally nowadays. So if you can sell joy, experiences, customer service, and this is all local, especially, that's amazing. That's why these companies really do invest in building community, because even in community, they're building experiences, and that's why the less is more method actually works. The rise of private dinners is something I really would love to dial in on, because think about having a private dinner sponsored by your brand and inviting 15 creators out, and all of those creators, by then you might be wanting to build relationships with lifestyle creators. Maybe you're building relationships who are creators that are also journalists as well. There are so many ways to work with creators, but you've got to think about the relationship. You got to think about the community you're building. You got to think about, how do you want them to feel? How would you want them to feel, right? Truly, how do you want to feel, right? So think about those things. But reminder that creators are just people. At the end of the day, they're humans. They're humans. You're human as well, right? Sometimes we get so frustrated in our business and stuff that we almost forget that we're humans. So remember that, and build an amazing human experience with the creators that you decide to work with. So with that being said, I just gave you a lot of gems, genuinely. So book some of our socialites. That's what we call our creators on the platform, right? Come on there, sign up, put in what you're looking for. Start working with nano influencers just until you got the hang of it. Build out that PR system, build out that relationship with them, and get really intentional on the experience you want to give them. Comment the experience you'd love to give a creator, and I'd love to just connect with you and see your vision on how we can leverage Jem Social for you to build out your army of creators, or as we would say, army of socialites. I'll catch you in the next session.